What?
You know the video of the our countdown,
Oh,
the
right,
minute
right, right.
countdown. Yeah, supposed to play the video, but it's fine. It's fine. We're here. All right. Hi everyone. Sorry we are a couple minutes late. I knew we were going to be late. That's why had decided to start at 9:05 instead of 9. But even 5 minutes late again.
Welcome to the Land of Technical Difficulties, hosted by Sahid and Nicholas. Good evening.
Brought to you by Nicholas.
Brought to you by Restream. Restream.
No,
Get your
no, it's
stuff together.
Nicholas.
Okay.
Worked for me. I'm just saying. You get on my. I used to get on my case all the time for technical difficulties. Now it's about to get back at you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hello everyone. I am Sahid. That is Nicholas. Welcome to the Targeted Podcast, episode 72. Man, we've made it a while. So good to see you, Nicholas. Hopefully
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Nice haircut.
Thank you.
I see you.
Yeah. Okay.
Had to point that out. I had mine last week. It's okay now, but it's fine.
Ah.
I can't complain too much. So yeah, no, we're finally on here. We finally made it.
I
Cool.
mean, when my son comes, the first lesson is keep that line fresh. You feel me? Keep it fresh.
Do I need to go back to all the other streams where your line wasn't that fresh? Or
you mean when I'm wearing a hat? Sure. Sure.
Nice. That's so funny. Yeah. So yeah, welcome guys to the Targeted Podcast. Sorry for a little bit of technical difficulties. We're still trying to get it up. We able to work through our issues now, so that's good. Right. So let's get into it. Last week, and we hit heavily on like DC. So huge news last week. DC decided to cancel Batgirl, which was
Dummies.
which was. I mean, I don't know how good or bad the movie is, but we do know that DC has a history of fucking up their own properties, right?
Bro, literally all they had to do was release the movie, come out with an announcement like, hey, we've got a new plan, yada, yada. Release what you have on deck, make your money back, and come out and say, hey, new direction, yada, yada, yada. I mean, let the people have the content, man.
But that's the funny thing, though. I don't think they would have made their money back, or they don't feel confident that they would have. Because keep in mind, they were reshooting. Was it Batman v Superman? No, it was Justice League. They definitely didn't make the money back on that one.
Well, they screwed that up, bro.
Yeah. Well, just like they're doing.
They would have made Justice League. I think would have done really good, but Joss Whedon did. He tried to turn it into the Avengers.
I think they really wanted it to be like the Avengers. It could have been good. It had everything. Even Batman v Superman had everything it took to be a good movie, and he just fucked it up. But anyway, I won't dwell too much on that. Poor Nicholas has suffered enough, a little bit.
All fans of DC have suffered enough. Okay?
Yeah, I would admit I've suffered too. You more because of your loyalty, but
hey, yeah,
I definitely appreciate the loyalty. I see the Batman back there.
I turned to the animated movies to make myself feel better.
They are really good. Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, some more news too in the DC realm this week. Black Adam. They talked about the test series of Black Adam. I think we talked about this last week. It's the same as like Batgirl. Also, Black Adam didn't want to be a part of any Shazam movie or Shazam part of Black Adam because Dwayne Johnson wanted it to be a standalone movie by himself. And respect the character. We'll see how that goes when the movie comes out.
The character.
Respect the character. Okay.
You mean the guy that's been the arch enemy of Shazam for decades?
Yeah, sure. Respect the character. Okay, go ahead, respect the character, If I see an eyebrow go up as if you Shazam, that's not suspecting the character. See one of the rock eyebrows or flashy one-liners. Like I can't even do it. It's like this.
I know. I'm not even gonna try. I'm just embarrassing myself at this point.
Yeah, I actually have to physically like move my eyebrows to do it.
Still, yeah. No.
I still can't even do it. So, yeah, that's where that is.
Yeah.
Also, they did some test footage for the Flash movie, and they said it was the best review, like audience response for a movie. Like,
I mean,
had in
I
every
think
DC movie.
I honestly think that it was going to be good. And like the only thing that they really needed to do with the Flash for me was teach that man how to run. After that, I think what they were
Like
trying
this,
to
was he
do.
doing this? Like
I don't know if
Mario?
you're. I don't know if you're running or swimming. I don't know what you're doing. Right. But
That's what he's doing.
But
I
yeah,
love how he has to start. He has to like start in like kneeling position before he runs too. Right. Like, he has
I
to,
don't
like,
mind
get
that. I
down.
mean, he does that in the comics too. You know what I mean? When he's trying to focus. When he's trying to focus. No, he's done that on a TV show, in the movie. Yeah, he's done that all over.
Oh, sir,
I don't mind
expert
that
here.
at all. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I'm a fan of the Flash for sure.
That's funny. All right. Well, we are. Well, I didn't want to get too much into it this week.
Actually, before we move on though,
Yeah.
with the Ezra Miller situation, I think that guy's about to get into some real trouble, man. So
Oh well, I
I
think
prayers
he
out
got
to
federally.
to the families of whoever he's been.
Fucking with.
I don't even want to
Excited?
say, you know, I'm not even sure how to verbalize it. Whatever to the
Yeah.
victims, I guess,
Yeah.
because he's been doing some disturbing things, and more things are coming out. And I think that guy's probably about to be arrested.
Yeah. Well, he got
As soon as they
indicted.
catch up to him, yeah,
He got indicted, right?
I think he's going to do
Federal
some
crimes.
time. Like this
Yeah.
isn't a game anymore. I somehow for whatever reason, Warner Brothers is still trying to release the movie. Not sure why,
Well, he
but
finished shit on it.
I think they're going to. I mean, at that point, I think your investment's already made. That's the weird part about the whole situation. You're
Yeah.
moving forward with that movie, but you're not going to move forward with Batgirl,
Yeah.
right?
Look. So,
Just
and
release it all.
I had a conversation with my coworkers the other day too about this, and their thing. So Leslie Grace was supposed to be in Batgirl, and their thing was that she wasn't as popular, which is true. She wasn't as a household name as some of the other people leading their DC um, worlds. But you know who is a household name? J.K. Simmons, right? Who was supposed to be in the movie as Commissioner Gordon, right?
Yeah, but Chris Hemsworth wasn't a household name when he got the part for Thor.
I mean, it's
You don't have to
BS.
have a household name.
No, of course not. It's BS. It's BS. Let's be very clear. It's BS, right? So who else was supposed to be in it? So it was J.K. Simmons and Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah.
So she may not have been a household name, but those two guys are.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I mean,
it's kind of BS, and not kind of, but actually BS. But I mean, it's not a good look that you scrubbed her stuff and then letting the other ones go through. Not to mention, news came in that they're trying to smooth things over with her, like trying to like just say, "Whoops, my bad."
I wouldn't even want to hear that.
Yeah,
Y'all can kick rocks.
of course. I mean, imagine you working on something for 2 fucking years, then you get new ownership and like, yeah, we're scrapping this shit. It's not good enough, right?
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, but it's the movie. It's show business, though. I mean, that happens all the time. I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Of course, of course, of course. But this publicly, right? I mean, at the
Yeah.
same time, you might as well just go through with the movie and then have it reboot later, right? As opposed to
That's what I would have
freaking-
done. Do a one off. I mean,
yeah, might as well. And I honestly think they're going to end up doing it anyway, which would just show just how dysfunctional they are. To be honest with you, right? Kind of how they scrapped Zack Snyder's cut, and they're like, "Oh, guess enough people are pissed off about it. Let's put it back again."
Word on the street is that might be the new timeline too. I mean, I've been reading articles about all
Yeah,
sorts of stuff. You know what I mean?
I hope it's not, but you know, whatever. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get into our other topic. So dysfunction in instead of dysfunction in Warner Brothers, let's talk about dysfunction in another guy's house, Donald Trump. I
Literally.
had a lot of dysfunction. I had the pacement, so I did something a little bit differently this week, where I created an event, right? But I also had all my references that I was going to use. But since I already had the event created and I did the references afterwards, I couldn't add it to it, at least seamlessly. So I'll do it retroactively, add everything later
Okay.
to do that. But first things first, if you guys haven't been living, a couple caveats first. Not that I'm pretty sure that we don't have a huge following of Trump followers on our podcast.
Are you serious?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume that we don't have a lot of Trump following or Trump supporters following us or going out of their way and listening to two black guys on a podcast. I'm gonna assume, but if that's the case, right? I've had some experience with when I used to kind of allow for Facebook debates and just kind of seeing how people react and whatnot. A little bit of caveat. I have all my references. I'll post them like at the end of the live stream. At the same time, what I want to do is that these people that are mainly Trump supporters or just have this certain type of mentality, I don't even call them conservatives because I don't even think most conservatives have this mentality. It's just this section of people that what they do is they attack the message, not the story, not the problem, right?
Right. Yep.
So this actually happened a couple years ago with well, I'll use an example of what it did a couple years ago. So Nissan had it was Gillette. It was Gillette that had a commercial on um, on well, obviously they're a men's shaving commercial, and they had a commercial about toxic masculinity, right? And I posted it on, and they eventually had to gut the commercial because there's such a negative feedback to it, right? So I posted on my Facebook and was like, you got to be like a thin-skinned man if you get offended by this shit, right? And of course, a bunch of white dudes, because that's usually who they are, right? Starts commenting back. I was like, oh, not really. They're just pretty much sniding and belittling and undermining, right? Um, like what I was posting, not looking at the problem, right? Attacking the messaging of what I was doing, right?
Of
And
course.
it didn't take it to a woman who, by the way, Republican woman, by the way, works who works as a contractor, is a lobbyist the on the Hill, right? Had responded was like you idiots don't. Well, she didn't say this, but she was pretty much got in their asses, right? It was like, yeah, have you ever had to freaking carry mace to like a car to feel safe or whatever? Come on, right?
Yeah.
And they shut them down immediately. But that was them. That's the message. And I imagine people who listen to what we have to say here, if they are Trump supporters, doubt they are, but if they are and attacking the message instead of like the problem, that's here. That being said, let's get into it. This week, FBI raided Mar-a-Lago, right? Trump's residence at Mar-a-Lago, right? And apparently they found some some records that he took that are classified, that are deemed classified, right?
There were some documents that were meant to only be viewed like in government facilities.
Exactly.
That's what I read in the New York Times. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So Hillary Clinton had a field day with this, by the way.
love her response. She
Love
had
the
that merch,
vengeance.
but her emails, the hat with it said like, but her emails,
But her emails,
and some other stuff. Yeah, love that response right there, man.
Love it. Like, if I was her, I would choose violence every day over there.
Oh yeah. And then you saw the other responses were like when because he came out with a statement like early on or whatever, probably during like the Black Lives Matter movement or something like that. With why would you take the fifth? If you take the fifth, that's an admission of guilt. And
Which
then
is
here he
exactly what
is
he did.
taking
Yeah.
the fifth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So of course
So
you heard that sound bite, with this new sound bite of him taking the
yeah.
fifth or whatever. So that was funny
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. It's amazing how these things come back to haunt you, right?
Of
It kind of
course.
shows the importance of not being an arrogant dipshit, right? Because that stuff may take 5 years, may take 10 years, may take 20 years. It may take when you're dead, right? And you're long gone, and we're discovering all this shit. Like, oh, this guy's a fucking asshole. Like,
Well,
yeah,
that's why they
we'll find
call it
out.
that's why they call it the long arm of the law, right? Because
Yeah,
I was, me and the wife were talking about this too, right? It was like she was like, he's not gonna get in trouble. Nothing's gonna happen. Da, 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 da. I was like,
yeah.
I just kept saying, it might not be, might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but just watch.
He's gonna get
At
got.
some point,
He's
it's
gonna get
gonna
got.
bubble up, and
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna bubble up. I'll say that it was gonna bubble up. Whether he's gonna get got or not is the question, right?
yeah. I mean,
If
who
we
knows?
don't do anything about this, we're looking at freaking pre-World War II Nazi Germany, right? When
Well, it goes
Hitler,
back to your question a few episodes ago: are we a
yeah,
functioning democracy or not? I guess it
yeah,
depends on who you are.
yeah, yeah. I was reading something from Adam Kinzinger today. So he's a Republican, one of the 10 Republicans that voted to impeach Trump. He's also one of the leading figures in the January 6th committee, right? He's not running for re-election. Most of the people that voted to impeach Trump, at least from the Republican side, has either retired from Congress or got beat out in their primaries, right?
Hmm.
Um, he's one that neither happened to him, but he just got some redistricting happened to him, where it's going to make it a lot harder for him to win his reelection. So he won't be back in Congress next year. But it was also said, he also said that yeah, Trump won in the short term for like the heart of the GOP, but probably won't be winning in the long term. He's
Absolutely.
also disappointed that he knew that most Republicans, or a lot of Republicans, wouldn't join him. He didn't think like most of them, or so little, wouldn't join him, right? Which is just kind of telling the state of like that whole party.
He took
Which
over,
is
is what happened.
yeah,
But what's also interesting to me is, so the FBI served the warrant. They go in there and get the papers or whatever. Now there's like a bunch of Republicans, at least according to this article on Reuters, they're trying to see the affidavit, see the
yeah.
justification that they had to do the raid.
What they pointed
Yeah.
is the warrant was sealed, and they were trying to unseal the. I think they did unseal the warrant too.
No, that requires, well, not from what I read. That requires a federal
Okay.
judge. I don't think this happened yet. Um, I I mean, I doubt it, but you never know. You never know. I mean, that's what happens when you look at the difference between the two sides, right? Like when something with the Republicans, it's just funny how they act. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
must be something wrong in the process. And no, this is just a
Oh.
fishing expedition. Da, 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 you know what I mean?
Oh.
But if it's something on the other side, she's a criminal. He's a criminal.
Oh yeah. No, the hypocrisy is just so much, and it is ridiculous. Also, the guy who signed off on the warrant, his name is Merrick Garland. If you don't know who he is, I can tell you who he is.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Oh, we all know who he is. Which is the funny thing. So in 2016, when Anthony Scalia, who was on the Supreme Court, passed away, right? Um, Obama was it 2016? Yeah, it was 2016. Yeah. Obama put a new person up for like as you're supposed to do, right?
Yep.
When there's a hole in the Supreme Court, the president's supposed to nominate somebody new, and the House is supposed to vote on it, right? And I want to point this out too because people tend to forget this. The presidency is is powerful, but not all powerful, right? So the person who he nominated to be on the Supreme Court was Merrick Garland. That was the guy who he nominated in the Supreme Court. As you know, rest is history. Hillary Clinton did not win that election, right? won re-election. Um, she had some problems with her emails, right? And she has. I mean, it's the concerns with her are legitimate, right? Are legitimate concerns, right? The hypocrisy with Trump, though, right? It's just ridiculous. But anyway,
Yeah.
right? Hillary Clinton lost, and uh, the Republican Party never. By the way, then that would have tipped the Congress uh, 5-4 to the Democrat side. If
You
that would
mean for that would have tipped the
that would have
court?
tipped the scales. That would have
Yeah.
tipped the court 5-4 Democrat side, right? That didn't happen, right? Years later, Trump gets to pick three, not one, not two, but three Supreme Court justices, and then there goes Roe v. Wade, right? So we're gonna be
Facts.
dealing with Trump and his shit. And keep in mind, he's also got to appoint a lot of federal judges as well, right? One
Yep.
of those federal judges in Florida, right, recently got rid of the mask ban on planes, which blows my mind, right? Like you're in a concealed place, that would be the place to wear a mask, but I digress. But yeah, it's truly just it's fascinating to kind of see like this all happen, right? I did want to hit up one thing, Paul Manafort, right? Who he is and everything as well, because I think that can really help you understand just how bad Trump is. And again, the point of this isn't to try to convince people that Trump is a bad person. At this point, you either know or you don't, right? Um, or you either care or you don't, or you're acting like you do care when you actually don't, or act like you're moderate or whatever, some other BS, right?
Well, I think you should watch the way you word it, right? It's not trying to convince people that Trump is bad. I just think that you have to convince people that there's a case for there's a case against him, like a real legitimate case against him. Like you
Yeah,
have to look past all the rhetoric and all the stuff that he's putting
yeah,
out there to try to distract you and just look at like this is stuff that people have actually done and he's a
yeah,
part of it.
yeah.
Good or
No, no, no,
bad, you know what I
no.
mean? I'm not really looking
So
at that.
that's
This
that's
I'm looking
that's
at
essentially
what people have done.
that's essentially what I was saying too, right? So for example, um, right. So with Trump, is as you just said, right? Like I can't convince people whether he's good or bad. They've already convinced that, but there is a case. So I will explain the case, and one of the parts of that case is understanding one of his associates, Paul Manafort, right? So I actually read a book about like the case versus like against the United States versus Donald Trump. I read the notes of the book, not the entire book itself. And a lot of it was focused on like Paul Manafort, right? So Paul
Right.
Manafort is, I don't know if you know who he is. He is a piece of work. So he did a lot of sketchy shit for the government, dating all the way back to the Nixon administration, right? Him, Roger Stone, all those guys did a lot of sketchy shit for the U.S. government. Um, One of the things that he did was he didn't. He is a what is it? He didn't register as a lobbyist for a foreign entity. He also worked with Russia, with former prime minister to Ukraine, who was just a puppet leader to Russia anyway, right? And he
Right.
helped get him elected, right? He also worked heavily with, back in like the 70s and 80s, with a bunch of dictators on behalf of like the United States government, right? And this is the kind of guy that Trump wasn't as a administration, right?
Yep.
Very sketchy guy, whom he ended up pardoning later. And it was also proved, like he
I
also
remember
admitted,
that.
yeah, he also admitted that he actually passed information to Russian agents, right? So he passed confidential polling information, right, in 2016 to another guy who was considered a Russian agent, per se. Uh, and it's like it's very nerving, right? That you have this guy who essentially working with dictators and overthrown governments, working with Trump, right? Not to mention he has a laundry list of other people that do very similar things in this organization as well. And he just keeps getting it's getting closer and closer, right? You're seeing members of his organization get indicted and arrested, and he has to pardon them, right? Um, this guy who lives in North Virginia, by the way, Northern Virginia, who lives close to me. Um,
So your
he
neighbors.
don't get me started. Uh, I kind of want to make a joke on how you live like an hour away, but quite frankly, it doesn't. He's a no. He's the guy's a dude. Like, don't get me started on that dipshit. um, but yeah, no, this guy is his daughter, his own daughter, like disowns him, right? Just for like and causes money, blood money, right? Like
Yeah.
gets a lot of his money from just doing fucked up shit. Right? And of course, Trump signs him to his administration, right?
Of
And
course.
apparently, his intent was to pass information to Russia to show how vulnerable Hillary Clinton is, but apparently that information was used to help get Trump elected. We don't know. Again, still don't know how far this goes, but we have to kind of keep at it. But yeah, that's kind of where we are for with that nonsense. Unfortunately,
Crazy.
yeah, it's nuts that this is kind of where we are in our society, right? There are a couple other things that I wanted to hit up. Didn't get a chance to, but like to take my notes, but I'm sure it'll come to me. But yeah, no. What are your thoughts on Trump and the shit that's come out? Oh, there are a couple other things I want to say too. In classic Trump, or these group of people that I'm talking about that attack the message and not the story or the problem, right? One of the things that he did was has like a sign of whataboutism, right? Whataboutism, you hear this all the time. What about our emails, right? You hear that all the time whenever we try to attack. So when Trump, when it came out that the FBI raided his place, right? He made a very baseless claim about Obama, right? Saying Obama took home 30 million or 33,000, 30 million, I don't know, the number of classified records, right? So obviously it's false. And
You know he's gonna try.
of
He's the
course he's going to
deflect.
try.
He's a deflect master.
Yeah, and his dipshit followers will like believe in him, right? So like he said that, oh yeah, Obama took home classified documents, but he did not take home classified documents. Any document that he did take home was through the National Archives, and then the classified documents that happened during his administration are kept in a separate building by the National Archives.
Yeah.
So again, false statement, right? I was watching. I don't get on Facebook very often, but I was watching one of my buddies get into an argument with one of his friends, who I think is a fucking racist prick, is talking about how, during January 6th, Nancy Pelosi, Trump tried to bring the National Army, and Nancy Pelosi said no. And if anyone knows anything, the Speaker of the House does not control the Army at all, and she can't say no to that. Nor would she say no when they're fucking attacking the building, when they're coming after her in her freaking office, like putting that shit up on her desk. She's not gonna say no to that. But yeah, it's nuts. I was also reading another article today about people, and I didn't read everything on. This is another pro-Trump article where they're like, oh, Biden can't really see why people like Trump. It's because he fights for the little people and that he's pro-America. And I'm like, this is a guy who constantly has Vladimir Putin's dick in his mouth. Let's start there. Let's call it what it is. I'm not holding back with this shit. We can't hold back on this shit. You know? Surprised he's able to talk. But anyway, we can't hold back on this, right? No, he's constantly freaking. He also undermined our U.S. intelligence service, right? When they said, yeah,
Yes.
we have we have intelligence saying that Russia's trying to interfere with our election. He goes, well, I don't believe them. And it wasn't until enough kickback until he's like, oh yeah, I guess I could believe him. And it's just,
Well, that's why you have a group of people who believe that you're in on it because you're not listening to our country's intelligence services, right? So, I mean, if you're
yeah,
going to ignore it and try to put something out about it being, baseless, and then more and more things come out about you being in bed with Putin and Russia and all that other stuff, I mean, it's going
yeah,
to start looking bad. You know what I mean?
it looked real
So,
bad.
I don't, you were asking like what I think, but my only thoughts are it's about time, right? I've just been I've been waiting to see him get in a hot seat like since he was
Yeah,
elected because
yeah,
he's just everything he does is just suspicious. Everything is suspect about this dude, man. So
yeah, yeah.
um I'm just on the sidelines. We're in the group chat. I'm always posting that GIF with the guy like sitting back eating popcorn. That's me right now. Like I'm just watching to see what happens because it's about time. You know what I mean? Since he got the spotlight on himself, he's done nothing positive with it really. He's
No,
he's brought
no.
a certain perspective to the forefront that is horrible, for the
Yep,
country, and a lot of people just fell in line with it because he was able to take so much power in his political party, and
yeah,
nobody wanted to question him, and now here we are. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
And
So
now here
I can
we
only
are.
hope that anybody who was really rolling with him like that, they get burned by it
Yeah.
because it's not looking good for him. Not looking good for him at all.
No, no, and
So
we knew this. We knew that he was on the shit end for a while. It's just that I think that the reason why he has such popularity is of what he represents, right? And again, this goes back to what I said initially, right? These are people, his supporters. I wouldn't even call them conservatives. I don't know what to call them. I just call them Trumpers, right? Um, just Trumpers, right?
well, I think I
Uh,
was talking with some people. I'm not just going to say Trump, but it's just like those people who, if you're like a one issue voter, right?
yeah,
You know what I mean. So you have someone who, well, say that they're against abortion or they're against that one thing that really bothers you, where they
to the point.
say that they represent that one ideal that's really important to you. Like, hey, I'm a Christian, Christian values, no abortion. The common person who isn't really following politics like that or isn't really looking at where the direction that the country's headed in and just wants like one specific thing done,
Yeah,
they're gonna follow you. You know what I mean? They're not.
maybe.
You know what I mean?
I,
But
I would I
if
would
you
give you
if you
that.
look if you look deeper at what he's trying to do, like the common person, like his his policies didn't really help you, right?
Yeah, I can see that. No, I think that's giving him a little bit too much credit, though. Honestly, in the sense that I think he represents what they hate, right? So, and they just are in this bowl of just anger, and they are having that directed towards like liberals. So, for example, let's look at what did I want to hit up on? Oh yeah, Matthew Codborn, right? Dipshit little. He was the youngest. He's a dipshit. Let's be honest. He's a dipshit.
Say it with your chest,
Um,
man. Say it with
yeah,
your chest.
this is a guy who talked about how he was invited to old man orgies while he was in Congress. No, this is legit thing. So Madison Codfield. Let's talk about him for a second.
Wait.
He
What's
was
his name? I want to Google this dude. What's his
Madison
name?
Codfield. Madison Codfield. Yeah, Madison Codfield. Cawthorn.
Codfield.
Cawthorn, excuse me, Cawthorn. Cawthorn.
Okay, Madison Cawthorn. Okay.
Yeah, Madison Cawthorn. So he was behind AOC. He was the youngest person elected to Congress, right? Um, Off some straight bullshit, right? Huge Trump supporter. He was at the rally in January 6th because of course he was. Apparently he had a gun on him too because of course.
Because of course he was.
Because of course. Of course he was, and of course he would. No, but he also talked about the old man. I'm surprised you haven't heard about this one. He
No,
talked
because
about how
when
he
you were
was.
saying it, and I was like, what?
Yeah, no. So apparently he was on a podcast. He could join our podcast if he wants to. But I don't think I like his.
I might have to moderate that one because you just be using. You're a dipshit. I was like, what?
It's like,
Let the
no,
man speak.
Zahid. Fuck him. No. So I'm surprised you haven't heard about this one though. So he came out and said that he had like he was on a podcast and one of the members of Congress, older man, invited him to an orgy where an old man orgy where had an orgy of just people there and he did cocaine in front of him. And like the thing is like, wait, so you went to the orgy? Like, and the cocaine part was the weird part? Like it's so funny, right, to me.
Hey, you'd be surprised. Like you'd be surprised that the thing that bothers people, right? Like it wasn't the orgy.
Yeah. No, you should actually go ahead and just Google Madison Cawthorn orgy. I promise you a porno won't come up.
God.
It's not a porno. You'll see a couple news articles of saying how he claims that they're Republican or old man orgies in Congress. Oh my God.
I don't even know what to say to that. Next topic.
There's nothing to say. He got primaried, and he's not going to be. He's not going to be. But my point, I guess, what my point is, the reason why I brought that shit up though was that he also said too. This now that you know who he is, right? He's also saying that when he got elected, was like, "Cry, liberals, cry," right? And that to me makes a point. I remember when Trump got elected. And the then Speaker of the House, Ryan, I forgot his last name, Paul Ryan, that was his name. Paul Ryan, he was like, look what this guy's done. He's accomplished everything. Apparently he's doing something right. Look at how angry the Democrats are, right? And that's what they want. They just want the liberal side, the other side to be angry. They're not for anything, right? And Trump just represents their anger, right? And this is why we can't let them kind of get away with it because they'll let the whole world burn just to like keep in mind, dude, they don't want to take a vaccine. I can understand the vaccine, but don't want to wear a mask, don't want to socially distance, right? Just because a bunch of fucking eggheads said so, not because of it doesn't make sense, right? So
True.
Straight BS. But yeah, that's essentially that. I did want to hit up one other thing too. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning. Emmett Till, right? So news this week as well that you didn't hear about this news. I posted it first too. Yeah. So Emmett Till news. The woman responsible for having him killed, essentially, right? So the woman who claimed that he whistled and like slapped her fanny or whatever, or put hands on him, and
just whistled at her. Just did a cat call.
Well, no, she claimed that he just whistled, right? And touched him, right? Okay. Like she claimed some level of assault, I believe. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I didn't think.
Yeah, look that one up.
I thought it was just a.
Yeah, well, it was a cat call.
He just kind of did like a cat call type deal.
Yeah, regardless, nothing did he deserved to get him killed.
Absolutely.
But anyway, right? There was a unserved warrant under the courthouse, and apparently she was supposed to get arrested for her role in what happened. That never happened.
Lord.
And a grand jury just this week, right?
In Mississippi,
because of course, right? Has made claims that, well, we're not going to indict her because there's not enough evidence of this, even though she has admitted, and it's God's live a life that Emmett Till hasn't, right? She's still alive. I thought she was passed away.
Oh yeah,
She's
she's
still
still
around.
there. Still there.
She's still kicking. I think she's like 87 years old. So
After hearing more than 7 hours of testimony from investigators
that's
and
what I read.
witnesses, the grand jury determined that there was not sufficient evidence to indict Carolyn Bryan Donham. The
Yeah.
panel also considered charges of kidnapping and manslaughter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
honestly, I
Go ahead.
have mixed feelings about this
Mixed. Okay.
because, on one hand, I mean, 70 years ago, right?
Yeah.
She's doesn't have long. So, what are we looking for at this point?
Yeah.
You come out because essentially, I guess, you know, did they? I think I don't know if she was. You know, there's a statute of limitations. I don't know if she's already been in the court for this or not. But I mean, I'm assuming that's why
No,
she
she's
was
never
able
been in
to.
court for this.
Oh,
She's never been in court for this.
I just find it's just crazy to me how this woman can, you know, release a memoir and admit wrongdoing. I guess to clear her conscience. I feel like this is pretty much just to clear her conscience before she dies.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And this then leads to her, you know, this investigation or whatever. But it's kind of pointless, man.
Well, I would say this. She's lived for this happened how many years ago? 50, 60 years ago? They said Emmett Till will be about 70 years old today. If he
Till was
hadn't lost
abducted,
his way.
according to this article, Till was abducted in 1955.
Okay, so more than 60 years ago. Actually, shit, I'm sorry, more than 70 years ago.
Yeah, 70 years ago. 70 years ago.
Wow.
Almost 70 years
Freaking-
ago.
Jesus, we're getting old. So anyway, yeah, no. So it was a long time ago. Actually, 1955. Yeah. No. So here's trying to word this properly. Well, just blurt out and say it. She lived on borrowed time. Long story short, she lived on borrowed time. She lived a life that Emmett Till did not get to live. Right. People they're still arresting freaking 90-year-old Nazis actually years after the World War, right? They're still arresting those guys after like years and years for their atrocities that they've done, right? So and it just goes to show you this is also a group of people that hasn't let go of like the Confederacy either. So I mean, what more can you expect? What more can you expect?
But you were right. He was accused of making lewd comments and grabbing her while she worked alone at a family store.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But according to her, this is what she said in the manuscript happened. The men, you know, after the accusation, the men brought Till to her in the middle of the night for identification, and she tried to help him by denying that it was him that did it. And despite being abducted at gunpoint from a family home by Rob Bryan and Milam, I guess is another, you know, these are the white guys who brought him to her.
Yeah.
He identified himself to the men, and then days later, his battered, disfigured body was found in a river where it was weighed down with a heavy metal fan. And then the crazy part was, I don't even know if I would have had the heart to do this. His mother, Mamie Till Mobley, decided to have an open casket funeral for Till in Chicago to demonstrate the, you know, the horror of what happened.
Yeah.
And that, you know, obviously added fuel to the civil rights movement.
Yeah. So, about that per se, if you go to the African American Museum, at the bottom there's an Emmett Till section, and it shows like his coffin, right, or like a replica of his coffin. If you're able to look inside, you have to kind of really like look inside the coffin. It's this difficult. You can see a picture of his face, of his battered face. So it's there, right? You can actually see that. Yeah, she got to live on borrowed time. Something else to point out, um, he, she apparently said that he admitted it, or she tried to help him by saying he didn't do it, but he admitted that he did, or whatever. They took him away. They shot him. They shot him in the head. So they did an autopsy of him years later. Right, he was shot in the head. Right, and battered and just beat up. And but he was shot in the head, and that's where like his that's how he died. Right,
Yeah.
but this woman again got to lived in borrowed time, right? She got to live a very long life, right?
Yep.
Not sure if it's a happy life, but she got to live a long life. And this is kind of where we are, right? With this kind of with stuff. So that's the frustrating thing for me with this. These are people again that can't get over the fact that the Confederates lost the war. So of course they'll be like, "Oh, I mean, we can't find evidence of this," you know.
Yeah.
Very heinous thing that was done to a kid, right? Um, but I guess
I just,
since the kid wasn't in the womb, they don't care, right? That's the
but,
only.
but I just, understand that on one side, like we want to see justice done.
Mhm.
But it's just almost a point of, it's 70 years later, right?
Oh, I'm
I'm
with
not,
you.
I'm not
I'm with you on
sure.
that.
Like, let's say she's indicted or whatever, right? Like she gets, a charge for this. What kind of punishment do you give her? Right?
No, you're not wrong. You're not
I
wrong.
just, I don't
My
know.
my
You know
only
what I mean?
counter argument to that though is that she got to live 70 year like on borrowed
Yeah,
time, number one. But
it's
number
something
two
to make
though,
you angry. It makes me
yeah,
angry that she got to live
but
her whole life while his was cut short.
yeah, but number two though is that we're looking at Nazi Germany, like the Nazis, right? Or well, again, the Nazis, right, from Germany, right? They've been hunted down for years, right? Years, years, years. Hell, if you find a freaking someone responsible for what happened in Germany during World War II, they're bringing them in, right? And
Right.
you don't give a shit how old you are. You're getting arrested, right? So, I mean, you got to do it. I mean, I think so. I mean, I
I
see your
guess.
point.
I'm just
I
not
see
sure
your
what that
point.
accomplishes. I could see even with the Nazi thing, like I could see bringing them in if they're still doing some suspect activities as a Nazi. You know what I mean? But World War II ended what? How long ago? Right?
7 years ago. Yeah.
So what does that do? These guys are dying, or if not, they're practically on their deathbeds at this point. 90 something years
Yeah,
old, they could die tomorrow.
I think justice is justice, man.
I guess. I mean, like I said, they don't call it the long arm of the law for nothing,
I
but
mean, justice is justice. We got to get him right, and
I
it still
guess
won't be full justice because most of their lives won't be lived behind bars, right? You're
they
just gonna
already
be
had a
there.
full life.
Yeah, you already had a full life, but you gotta. I think you got to do it. I think you have to do it. If you don't, what message are you sending, right? So if they evict like a 70-year-old man in Mississippi, which I'm sure they would, especially if he's black, right? What do you say for yourself, right? So,
Yeah.
my
I
point is
mean,
that,
I know she's, you know, at the forefront of things because of the story and the tragedy of what happened. But think about how many other incidents like that there are, that aren't reported on that we don't know about. There are similar Emmett Till stories all over, right? It just highlights a problem or an issue that was prevalent at that time, man.
hmm
There's
yeah,
a whole bunch of those people out there that are probably, have those secrets. You look at the Tulsa massacre. There are still people out there. They were interviewing a woman who was on, who lived in that neighborhood at that time, went through it. She's still afraid to talk about it. Said that in the interview.
oh, because
Don't
you don't
ask
want
me
to get
about it.
arrested.
No, this is
Well,
this is this is one of the victims. Like she's
oh,
she's afraid
victim.
that something might happen to her. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
you
sense.
know what I mean. So
No,
I don't
I
know.
think we need.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, a little bit difference of opinion there, but I actually have no problem with going after these people, regardless of how old they are, even if they're on their deathbed. That deathbed can be moved to a prison. It's like, sir, you've been found guilty.
Wheel him in with the oxygen machine.
Yeah.
You're under arrest.
Under arrest. Stick him up in there.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Goodness
absolutely. Freaking put the casket in freaking in there as well. It's like, oh, this guy's been found guilty. Dig his casket up, put him in a prison. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's a bit much. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's essentially it, man. That's all I got on those topics today. You good?
I'm good. I was trying to find something. I had seen something about what Florida was doing, but I was trying to find the actual article. But evidently, they're releasing some other, you know, some other law for education or whatever about things you can teach in school. But I was trying to find more details about it before tonight's episode. I'm gonna do a little bit of research on that.
Yeah, send us some stuff. I did read about that. That could be something for next week as well.
Yeah.
Also next week, I haven't seen I Am Groot. We know that's out.
It's some shorts. It's for the kids. It's for the kids, honestly, man. I wouldn't make a big deal out of that. The one thing I am really interested in watching is Sandman. I've been waiting for that to come out on Netflix for a long time, so I'll definitely be taking a look at that and giving a review. Yes.
Yeah. Want to do that for next week? Sandman review?
Ooh. Maybe in like give me like 2 weeks on that, man. I need like 2 weeks. 2 weeks on that. You don't know what you're doing here, man.
That's the style of like a working man with like 2 kids, new house, and a kid on the way.
Bro, hey, the next one's coming tomorrow, bro, or tomorrow night. So
what?
Kid number 3 tomorrow night.
Congratulations!
Yeah,
yeah.
That's why I said I might need a couple weeks to get through Sandman.
Oh shit, we might not need to do freaking next week then, man.
We'll have but it depends, man, because obviously I'm not working, so I'll be binge watching some stuff. But it depends on my man's sleep schedule if I can get through that joint. If he sleeps at all.
Oh my god. All right, y'all. So we may or may not have an episode next week.
Sit tight. Tight.
Well, you know. But,
hey, follow us. IG, Target Podcast.
Yeah,
Twitter,
follow us on
Target Podcast.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. I actually need to add Twitter to our restream. We're on Twitch, even though we need to actually do some stuff on Twitch. I need to beat your ass in freaking Gran Turismo is what I need to do.
We gotta do that, man. We'll play a game that you're comfortable with, and we'll play a game that I'm comfortable with on Twitch.
I'm comfortable with Gran Turismo. Are you saying you're not comfortable with Gran Turismo?
I'm comfortable with it, but I've seen your race times are good, man. I can't lie, like, you know what I mean. So, but at the same time, being on the track at the same time, there's a difference between that and just doing these time trials by yourself too,
true.
right?
That's true.
So,
that's very, very true. Very, very true. And if we were to race, we probably can't use the same tricks, right? As
exactly.
Use as a computer where we could just like
it's different.
Go in there.
Exactly.
Exactly. Which is funny. I mean, I would love to get like race on the internet. I hardly ever play on the internet because I always get too frustrated too quickly, and it just takes.
You gotta do an online race on Gran Turismo, man.
Yeah, but to do the online race on Gran Turismo, I'll have to get like the PlayStation Plus, and that'd be the only reason why I'm getting PlayStation Plus for the online racing. But yeah, I don't know.
Dude, what? Man, you got $60 a month. Get out of here, man. No, $60 a year.
Yeah, $6 a year. It's not terrible. I may or may not do it. I don't know.
Man,
Dude, you gotta understand. I play like the same games just for the sake of fun. Like
the
I
same
just,
3 games.
yeah, I
Forbid
do.
Horizon, Final Fantasy VII, Gran Turismo. Please, God,
Those
what
are
I'm
the
doing.
those are the last three games that I've played. It was so funny that you mentioned that because there are a couple games. So I bought a game, made by, but it's called Deathloop. It's a first person shooter game.
Oh, I heard some good
Um,
things about that,
I
man.
heard some really good things about that. I was gonna play it, but I'm not a first person shooter person, but I have it. Um, so I may play that. I was actually thinking about playing Final Fantasy Remake again. I have there's a DLC that that's with it that I haven't played at all yet. Uh, so I
I'm
may
thinking
play that
about
one.
playing
I may play that one.
after I finish Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm 2 chapters left.
Oh, good stuff.
Um I'm starting Horizon Forbidden West, but I may go back and mess with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I'm gonna try that again
Oh, did
because
you
it's
finish
been
that
so good.
game?
I started it. I don't know. Those first couple levels, I was kind of just like running around, like fighting like weird looking. It was just it didn't get me like right away. Right, the first
Okay.
level was good because you're escaping, you're fighting. It's like some inquisitors and some other people. It's exciting, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden I'm on like a grassy planet fighting like little animals and looking for stuff, and I was like, nah.
Mm.
So it start here, and then it's just like all of a sudden I'm down here, and I'm like, when can I get off this planet and go do something interesting? Right. So I'm
Mm.
gonna try to get back into it and be a little more patient.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably play maybe Deathloop maybe later in the year. Um, like the thing about the games that I play too is that I can turn it off whenever I want to, in the sense that like for Horizon Forbidden West, like it was hard for me to turn it off simply because like I want to see what's happening next or I want to get to this next level, right? Now that I've beaten the game and gotten platinum and pretty much gotten everything out of the game, I can easily just be like, you know what? Let me kill some machines for about 20 minutes and then just like do something else, which is what I do normally, right? Usually right after work, uh, put on the game, play for like 20 minutes, kill a couple of machines, then do workout or something, right? So,
Totally different for
um,
me. I go on what I Call of Duty, take out some aggression.
do you Call of Duty? Are you Call of Duty Warzone
Yeah.
or only? Yeah.
I usually play Black Ops for a warm up. Do a couple team death matches or whatever, but then I head over to Warzone. You know,
Hmm. Okay.
Modern Warfare 2 is about to come out. I will be on that all the time.
I did hear.
That's what you know. What that's my plan. That's my goal. Actually, we're gonna have the Twitch channel up and going in time for Modern Warfare 2. Y'all come see me. Slick and L1. Save it. We'll be on there.
Yeah, we should probably actually change our names to our handles. Right?
Need to. Need to.
Yeah.
Or just put
So
it in
no.
the description. Yeah.
Yeah. No, cool. Absolutely. No, super excited um for your kid. Very happy for you. Super excited for number 3, baby Nicholas Xavier, right? Is the name?
What? Yeah. Xavier. Yep.
I got it. Were you trying to release that or no?
Huh?
Were you trying to release that or no? Did I spill the beans too quickly?
No. Well, yeah. I mean, a little bit, but it's all good. It's
Oh
all good.
shit, my bad, dude. Um,
If you know, you know.
Oops.
But
Shit,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Actually,
Next-
let me go. I'll go get something real quick. Hold on.
Okay, well, this is super professional. While Nicholas is out, leaving me by myself. Uh, remember, you guys, to like, comment, and subscribe to the Targeted Podcast.
For sure.
Uh, we are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We out there.
Yep.
So please show some support. Much appreciated. So what you got for us?
Since I'm spending so much time in the hospital the next couple of days, I had to get my reading materials up. Y'all know I like my comics, right? So for
Oh,
one,
okay.
I want to show y'all Black Sands.
Oh, you got it.
Okay.
Nice.
Black owned comic book company. Very good story. So I got the two of the graphic novels here. So I haven't had a chance to read them yet. I'll be reading both of these.
Not one
And
of them,
then
actually.
I have I haven't read this one yet. It's still DC all day every day. Graphic novel Heroes in Crisis. This came out like a little while ago, whatever, but hadn't had a chance to read it, so I'm gonna get in here and read these comics. So yeah, check those out.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Well, and on that note, thanks to all you guys who joined. We had a couple watchers today, especially at the end. Again, free feel like, comment, subscribe. If you do the type of comment and we see it, we can actually show it in our stream. So I can do something like, can I get it?
Yeah, interact with us. Tell
Yeah,
Saheed what
interact
a
with
dork
us.
he is,
Fuck you.
and
Um,
we appreciate it.
right. So absolutely. No, damn it, it's not showing. Yeah,
Saheed is
whatever.
awesome. That's how you know Saheed is a dork. So, like I said, if you want to interact with us, come on out.
Yeah,
Come on
this
out.
is how. This is this person here, whoever typed
Really,
this, whoever typed this. Thank you so much for this.
Because you're not logged in as a targeted account. Yeah. Anyways.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, cool. Well, let me let you guys. Let me end this cast for now. Thank you guys for watching. Much appreciated, and see you next time. Bye.